my peaches, I'm Eleanor and I'm getting ready to pull your 2020 year ahead tarot forecast. I'll be using Spirit Within Tarot by Stephen Bright. I'm going to pull 12 cards, one for each month. And then when I do your monthlies, I'm going to pull more cards and we can unpack the themes that come out with each card for each month. Each video is going to be labeled by zodiac sign, and it's also going to have a title so you'll know if it might be for you. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay because I'm reading for a lot of people and I do offer personal readings. My information will be in the description box below. Hit me up. I would love to see what's going on and help you out. Also, this reading may not necessarily resonate with your sun sign, so I recommend looking up all of your sign placements, because if you're more interested in a love reading, you might want to know where your sign is and your Venus sign is, or if you're wanting to know more about sex or your passion project, you'll want to know where your Mars is placed. Deeply personal, emotional things will be your moon. How other people are perceiving you, that'll be your rising. So if you get a full chart, you'll be able to get more out of my readings and find out which video is going to be the best one for you to watch and be most relevant to you. Also, this is my first video series ever, so I have a lot of wrinkles to work out, but bear with me. I know you just want to get to the messages, right? So let's get to it. Hey Scorpio, let's find out what 2020's got going on for you. What is Scorpio facing in 2020? Let's get 12 cards and find out month by month a general overview for Scorpio. Now Scorpio, I'll be doing a reading for each month where I'm going to draw 4 cards for each of these in the relevant month and get way more detail. So this is just a general 2020 overview. So Scorpio for January, what's Scorpio going to be dealing with in January? Hello. Ten of Swords is ironically a great way to begin the year, because the Ten of Swords, while it does imply an ending, this ending is a tremendous relief and actually a great way. It's the perfect energy with which to start something new, which typically we culturally do in January. So the Ten of Swords is coming to the end of a totally fruitless thought process. It's being donezo with trying to figure something out and realizing that you cannot mentally force your way through the situation. And you're going to either have to turn it over to one of your other methods of problem solving, turn it over to the universe and let it play out the way in a way that was better than you could have written, most like. Or you can cling to it and keep trying to force it and keep trying to solve it and end up manifesting the thing that you've been stressing the whole time. So that is kind of an interesting way to start the year, being totally done and wiped out and ready to try something different. It's that way of thinking has not worked, and it's try to start something different. Scorpio in February, it looks like that's worked out. Laying down some of these swords is going to bring something back for healing from the past. It's looking a lot like some forgiveness and reconciliation. This can be in a relationship. It can be someone that this person may not come back to you in the physical sense. It may not be possible, but it may be a way that you see them in a new light and retell the story. Or it can be something sentimental brought back to you, a physical object, something that restores your faith in some way. But it's healing and it's kind, and it's going to feel good in a way that you haven't felt in a very long time, Scorpio. And I feel like it's kind of a reward. It's something that's been trying to come in. It's been something that's been around the corner the whole time, but you had to let whatever this is go. You had to be finished stewing, finished brewing, finished. This is what happens when the question is, are you done? Are you done, Scorpio? And you say, yeah, I'm done. Let's not do this anymore. We're better together. There's more here that matters than whatever it was I was stressing about. and making a big deal about. So, Scorpio, in March, the King of Swords. This is going to be you in your most effective communication capacity. This is going to be very much feeling in your power when it comes to your logic and your reasoning, your ability to get your ideas across in the ways other people understand. You're going to feel heard. I'm feeling that for you, Scorpio, in March, that whatever happens to you in March, you're going to be feeling heard and you're going to be feeling effective in your communications. Scorpio in April. Seven of Swords. Okay, Scorpio, so there's a little bit of letting your imagination run away with you in April. So you may get a part of a story or a little piece of information and then think it's the whole thing and build a whole narrative around it when it isn't true. So you're going to need to cool your heels in April and not let partial information inform your moves, if that makes any sense. Make sure you have the whole story and make sure that your information is true and accurate and that you've gotten everything there is to know and you've done complete research, and to check into your confirmation bias and make sure that's not something that's happening in your situations. And this is the type of thing that can be easily moved through and worked out. And we're going to draw more cards in April and find out more specifically what this means and what it pertains to, and get some advice on how to avoid that, because I know that was kind of like general and maybe a little preachy, and that's why we do those monthlies, is to get a little bit more clarity and make more sense of something that really is kind of a broad thing that can play out in so many different ways for different people. That's why I can't be more specific than that, but there's going to be a need to get the bigger picture and to not focus too much on a piece and make that piece be the whole thing. Okay, so Scorpio, let's see what's going on in May. That was April. So Scorpio, May. What's Scorpio dealing with in May? All right. In May, Scorpio, you're going to be holding things together as long as ever. Okay. It's going to be like an arch. If you know architecturally how an arch holds together, all of the curved pieces, they press together and they hold the thing in tension. So this is where all the pieces stay in place as long as each piece is in integrity. So everything that you have to do with your work-life balance, your finances, trying to balance everything, keeping all the plates in the air, keeping everything running smoothly, is going to all be dependent on everyone doing their part and everything going smoothly. So this does show you being successful in that, and it shows you moving and grooving. It shows you keeping everything going. It's not going to be a month of a lot of growth and forward motion. It's going to be kind of treading water, but that's going to feel like a success with everything that could possibly be thrown at you. It's going to be, you know what, that was tough, but we made it. That's all, maybe that's all that can be said for May, is you made it, you held it together, and you got through in one piece. And that's awesome. Because, yeah. Anyway, Scorpio in June, the 10 of Cups. So there's more to that. So after May, when you do hold it together, there's going to be a sense of so much of success and emotional fulfillment that comes from that. I think that in May, that keeping of things together, that keeping the balance, that survival is going to be because of your relationships and because of the people around you that support you. And in June is where you fall deeply into gratitude for all of them and for how I think you're going to get a new perspective on what wealth and what happiness are when you come through this May. Because the Ten of Pentacles is the ultimate emotional fulfillment, which means different things to different people. And I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a redefinition of what that is. and a recommitment to gratitude for what you already have. Because May, whatever's going on in May, it feels like it's going to be impossible without everything coming together. And when it does, you're going to be so grateful and so feeling surrounded and overflowing with love and abundance. And you're going to feel wealthy, wealthier than you ever thought you could. All right, Scorpio, that's pretty awesome. Let's find out what July looks like for Scorpio. After Happily Ever After in June, what happens for Scorpio in July? Because the credits don't actually roll. Life goes on. Scorpio in July, with this newfound emotional fulfillment, where does that carry Scorpio into July? There you go. So the thing about realizing we've had a good thing, when we sometimes realize how good of a thing we have, there are ways that we keep this kind of fulfillment at bay from accepting and admitting that we have it, because then quite suddenly it becomes something that we can lose. And so I feel like there's a little bit of fear that comes from feeling like falling, like that dream that you have of when you're falling and then you wake up. There's the feeling of all of a sudden realizing what you have, and then the fear that it could be taken from you. That is going to be a little bit consuming your thought process in July. And this doesn't mean that that's going to happen. This foretells no such thing happening. It shows you being concerned and worried and fearful because of the way sometimes I think there's ways that people can think protectively, like not letting the universe know that you have a good thing because you don't trust it not to take it away. And there's ways that, I'm speaking from experience in a less mature version of myself, that feared gratitude, because as soon as I was grateful, then all of a sudden it would be gone. And so I am understanding this thought process for you in July, Scorpio, but we're going to pull cards and we'll find out how to move through that more smoothly, because there's nothing being taken from you here. It's you worrying, staying up with anxiety, thoughts of anxiety and fear, and you don't have to be ruled or controlled by that. You don't have to be kept up at night by that. It's something, it's a story. That's all it is. It is a story, and we're going to figure out how to get you some relief on that in July. August, for Scorpio, Page of Cups. It looks like we're successful in that, because this shows you being in a brand new emotional energy beginning in August. So feeling, this can be a dark month of stress, but I feel like when you move through it, you're going to feel lighter, you're going to feel successful, and you're going to feel more powerful because of it, and more rejuvenated and enthused to try doing that in other aspects of your life. Whatever it is that you learn in July through moving through this mental stress and anxiety, you're going to get curious how you can apply it in other areas. How can you, what you did with your mind here, do with your heart? And how much more can you grow, and how much more can you be in the emotional sense because of what you went through mentally? And how can you take those principles and learn more about your heart in August? Scorpio, what's going on in September? Let's see, maybe what are we learning? What does this newfound curiosity and inkling that there might be more to develop and explore in your emotional space? Well, you figure something out in September. Something totally clicks and makes sense. So there's a curiosity here about your inner self that arises in August, and in September, you're going to have an aha moment about it. Something's going to make sense. You're going to have a brand new clarity about what that is. There's going to be an epiphany that comes only after you've gotten this curiosity and this interest. There's going to be something getting you asking questions, getting you exploring, getting you examining your dreams and meditating and researching, and you're going to get some kind of giant helpful answer here in September. Scorpio, what's going on in October? What are you going to do with that newfound truth in October, Scorpio? Okay. Hang on. A lot, apparently, Scorpio. This is showing you being very passionate and powerful moving forward. And so it's one thing to have a lot of ideas. It's another to know how to make something out of them, to have the know-how to follow through with them and actually create a finished project, a finished piece, an outcome that can be shared and seen by others, and not just, yeah, and this idea you had once, and maybe it made it to a notebook, and maybe it got to the plan stage, but no, I actually did a thing, and I can show you all. That's how you're going to be feeling in October, Scorpio. That not only full of newfound passion and ideas that come from this page and this ace here, but actually having something to show for it. That's a very quick progression that happens in the fall here. So let's find out for Scorpio in November. What's this Scorpio going to be facing in November? The King of Wands doesn't get distracted. That's the thing. Because you're going to have this clarity and all these ideas and not have your energy getting drained out in different ways and on tangents and getting wasted in any way. You're going to be able to focus it and channel it to see something through. So for November, we have Justice. And this is the restoration of equilibrium in the scientific and mathematical sense. So it is something that resolves itself in a fair way. Now, we have a tendency to put ourselves at the center of that and expect fair to be in our favor, and that's not necessarily true. So whether justice is positive or negative from your perspective is who can say for everyone, but it will be something that is, all will be right with the world when this balance and equilibrium is restored. So we shall see in November how that's going to play out. All right, Scorpio, December. Scorpio facing in December. Perfect ending to the year, Scorpio. This is going to be celebrations, the marking of transition. So this is the way culturally we celebrate landmarks. When you go from being one thing to another, that kind of in-between moment where you graduate, you go from being not married to a married person, where you have a birthday, but this is people coming together. Everything that's wrapped up for me with Four of Wands are going to be shared cultural experiences, ways that we celebrate significant milestones with connection, the way we do things together and the way that people collaborate in a way that creates stability and celebrates stability, and ways that can only happen when there is stability and a foundation that's safe for everyone to celebrate on. That seems fairly typical for the holiday season, and that'll be interesting to break down and see the way what kind of milestones you'll be looking at in December, Scorpio. All right, thank you.